Hello, work life warriors. Happy Sunday. How are you? How are you doing? How was your weekend? Please share with me in the comments. What did you do for play, fun, laughter, joy this weekend? What did you do today? Are you ready for work tomorrow? When your alarm goes off tomorrow morning, will you hop out of the bed ready or will you hit the alarm button 11 times? Please share with me in the comments if you de stress this weekend, if you played as hard as you work, are you ready for work tomorrow? So, one of the top stress management tools is reading. And I like to read daily. I like to read a book a week, but since I've been in a doctoral program, I've been reading for pleasure or entertainment, maybe a book a month. And so I am going to get back on reading weekly. It is so beneficial to your health and well-being. It helps to reduce cortisol. It helps you to feel relaxed. It brings mental clarity, boosts your confidence. It increases your vocabulary. So reading is so beneficial in so many different ways. And we can read almost anywhere at this point, right? If you have a tablet, if you have a phone, on your computer, we can read anytime, any place when we need stress relief, right? Or when we're feeling stressed out, or if we just need new information. Now, a growth mindset is so very important to developing in life. You cannot just learn to solve problems. You should just stay in a kind of state of learning, right? Which is called a growth mindset. You should always be in the mindset of learning, of developing, of challenging yourself, of taking new information. That is the only way you grow and develop into the person that you want to be and accomplish what you came here to do. And so I am in the Enlightened Leaders program with the Athenas of the Triangle. And what we're doing is developing our leadership skills both professionally and personally. And so we're reading this book, Living Athena, the 8 Principles of Athena Leadership. And each month we're meeting, we're discussing leadership, how we can develop, how we can grow, how we can live a very principle-centered life and make moves based on our values. And so this particular video is going to talk about the 4th principle, which is foster collaboration. It says it values the gifts that each individual brings, connects people in groups to each other, encourage inclusion and of those who are often overlooked, and leaders welcome others to the work of leadership. And it is these things that I would absolutely like to talk about. Now, collaboration is so very important because we live in a shared environment. No man is an island. We all need each other to not only survive but thrive. And so it is very important that we celebrate each other's differences. A lot in society is built on our similarities, right? What we have in common, how we should show up, what we should believe, how we should maneuver in the world. And so many of our principles and values are based in or on a likeness, sameness, conformity, right? And we may not see the value in differences or the value in something that is different from what we're used to. There are many different personalities and character traits that we have not seen before, that we may not quite know what to do with them, right? Not just yet because we hadn't seen it before. We don't necessarily know how that character trait or personality quirk works in action. And so we tend to kind of dismiss it or disregard it or want it to get in line by controlling it or punishing it in order for it to fit into whatever we believe is the norm, right? Or whatever feels right in that given moment. But really, people's differences are strengths, right? And each difference should be respected because it brings something unique to the table. We do not benefit from or solely from the things that are alike. We benefit the most from what is different, right? What is different is what brings innovation, what brings creativity. It is how we change, how we grow, how we expand, how we know, how we develop, right? It is awareness. So when you meet someone who is different or shows up differently than you, or have different strengths or different character traits, we should lean more into understanding that person, because that person probably feels alone or misunderstood because they're not the norm. But we can lean into them and understand who they are, what this character trait is, and how it can impact the overall group, right? Connect people and groups to each other. So a lot of times we may have be the perfect person or have the perfect thing or want to do the perfect thing, but we're not around the right people, right? We may need something, but we don't know a person who provided. But we may know a person who knows a person who knows a person who does, right? And so it's so very important for us to connect groups to each other, for us to introduce the people we know to others, and vice versa, to create these big masterminds, to understand people's strengths, to utilize them in a way that can impact the entire human family. I like to think of it as we're all pieces to the human family puzzle. So if you think about a big puzzle box, let's say it's 8 billion pieces in it, every last person is uniquely cut, uniquely fit. You have a different face on you, but ultimately all of it connects together to form one big puzzle, which is the human family, right? You are a piece of the puzzle. You are a very big piece of the puzzle, and your differences are so important. And depending on who you're around, if you're around me, they are valued, because we're not solving problems with more of the same. We're solving problems with people who bring differences, who are unique, who have different perspectives, who see the world differently. And so it's very beneficial for us to take people who are different and introduce them to each other. Make sure that we connect our groups with each other. Encourage inclusion of those who are often overlooked. I kind of mentioned that in our society, or just in general, let's take it down to the human need. We tend to, as human mammals, tend to fear what we do not understand, right? And if someone has a personality or character trait that we do not understand, we tend to overlook them, ignore them, disregard them. We tend to act like they don't exist because we don't know how to handle how they're showing up or who they are, right? When really that lack of or the lack of not understanding that person is what is creating the distance, which makes it harder for us to understand the benefit of that difference, right? So if I don't feel safe to be myself, then I can never show you the beauty of what it means to be different. So think about this in terms of like comic books and X-Men. If the world was very hostile, then it would be not wise for the mutants to show what they can do. But if the world is more accepting on who they are and what they bring to the table, then those differences can be used to solve problems in our human family, instead of being used as a way to fearmonger, right? For control, for power. So if I have, just incredible strength, right, as a mutant, many people can feel very scared by that and try to destroy it. Or they can feel empowered and go, well, let's use this person's strength to do A, B, and C, right? Instead of being fearful of that thing, utilize it, understand it so you can utilize it for the benefit of society. And the last one, it says, leaders welcome others to the work of leadership. And absolutely, there are 8 billion people on this planet, which means there are 8 billion different versions of leaderships. We all lead ourselves, and so leaderships look different depending on who you are, what your experiences are, what you're doing. And so there isn't one particular right way or wrong way to lead. It's just what's in your best interest and what you're hoping to accomplish. And so imagine what the world would look like if everyone's taught that they are leaders and that they are in control of their future, and what they put in is exactly what they will get out, right? So whatever you invest in your internal world is what you will have to withdraw later on, or in any given moment you will have to withdraw from what you know, what you have experienced. And so if you have a lack of information, a lack of knowing, you don't really have a strong foundation. And so it's so very important for us to understand what people's strengths are, understand what people's differences are, how they can be utilized, how to not outcast people who are different than you, who show up different, who character traits may be different, who personality may be a little unique. Those types of things can help solve problems. It creates diversity, it creates camaraderie, it makes people feel feel seen, heard, valued, and respected, which is so very important. We all want that, right? We are humans. We work so very hard to be loved, although we are love, and there's nothing more that we have to do, say, feel, or be to experience love, right? Because we are love. We still want to make sure that we are doing what we can to develop ourselves personally, so the bad things or the negative character traits are not standing in the way of why we're lovable, or not standing in the way of our uniqueness, of the things that can be offered to society to help improve it. And so I absolutely love this principle. I foster collaborations. I've always have, since a very young girl. I've always played with everyone. I feel like you do not know anyone until you play with them. And so I make it a priority to play with the people around me, to understand them, to tap into people's differences, to be curious about what is unknown instead of fearful. And it is so very beneficial. It's been beneficial for me in my life. It has improved the quality of my life, and it has completely changed the lens in which I see the world. And so now I'm more open. I have a growth mindset. I'm more accepting. I love the differences in people. I actually welcome them. I look for different people. The last decade or so, I'm looking for those who are unique, who stand out, who feel overlooked, and I like to figure out what makes them special and unique, and invest in them and understand them in ways that maybe they may not understand themselves or have yet to be invested in, because those where the jewels are, right? The places that haven't been mined. And so, yeah, I absolutely love this. And I will do what? I have 4 more of these. I have already read the book, and it is an absolutely joy. It was a joy to read. And so I will continue to do these videos so we can have a deep discussion. Please share with me, what do you think? What are your thoughts about what I just said? I am so very grateful for the opportunity to come and share with you all what I'm learning. I am so grateful for being in this program, and to Athena of the Triangle. I'm learning so much, and I am so grateful. So I will see you all tomorrow, Work Life Warriors, for Monday's Stress Management and Wellness Chat. And as always, get out there and manage your stress. You still have time to do so. Work is your contribution to the world. So make sure that you are managing your stress so you can add some much needed value in the world. And I will see you tomorrow, Work Life Warriors. Bye.